Hey gang, Alex ABN coming at you, and I'm here today to do a brief sales overview on what it takes to make a sale in our business. And I'm going to go step by step with what I would do, what our sales agents do in order to download leads, call the leads up, set up appointments, find out the right product, and go make a sale. So it's pretty straightforward. And so it starts off with downloading leads. So we go to NALeads.com website, we log in, and then we go to My Leads. And lo and behold, I've got leads. So let's do a filter for Ohio. Because we have all our other agents' leads on here. So I need to filter out the Ohio leads. Okay, and there you go. So those are the leads that got downloaded for me. So I'm going to click on them so I can download them and start calling them. So I choose all my leads. Okay, then I zip and download. You can see right here, the leads are downloading in a zip file. So I just click on the zip file. You can see all the leads, the individual leads there. Then I want to extract them. So I want to extract them to a folder. My NAA and then leads. So my NAA folder and then the leads, the lead file under my folder. Click on extract. Then all those leads will show up as individual leads in my folder. Easy peasy. So let's take a look at them. All right, so these are my leads. In fact, I want to take a look. Okay, so this is what we call a speed lead right here. This one's a new marriage lead. This lead is a mortgage protection lead, no charge lead, because she's too old. So they still give us the lead, but they don't charge us for it because she's over age 85. This is another recent marriage lead, another recent marriage lead, mortgage protection lead, okay, so on. So these are the kinds of leads that we have. This is what someone called in, call-in lead. Again, this lead here, mortgage protection. This is a final expense lead. And then this is another call-in lead for mortgage protection. Okay, and this is another final expense lead. All right, so now that I downloaded my leads, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check my schedule and put my schedule together on when I'm going to call the lead up versus when I want to make my appointments. Typically, we try to book 24 to 40 hours ahead. So let's say I'm trying to book my Wednesday and Thursday. Typically, I'll start calling on Monday night, and then Wednesday morning at 7:30 to maybe 9, 11 to 1, 3 to 5, and then 7 to 9:30, 9:30 in the summertime, 9 o'clock in the wintertime. All right, and so I'll just go to my schedule and look at when the next time is for my own dial session. And then what I'll do is I'll get all my leads downloaded and printed. So I've got all my leads right here. And then I'm going to start calling through them. And I'll be tracking them on this thing we call an activity book. Okay. So we have this accounting system called an activity book. All right. And this is how we track our dials. You can see here, back on Saturday, I did like 29 dials, 7 contacts, and booked 3 appointments. Okay. And so likewise now, today, I'm going to do the same thing. So let's say I'm going to call Shelby. Okay. So let's see if Shelby's home. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this information. I'm going to have Shelby's lead on me, and then I'm going to give him a call. And this is how the phone call sounds. Okay. 937. Okay. It's ringing. So I'm going to mark a dial. So today is Thursday. Hello. Hello, Shelby. Hello, Shelby. My name's Alex. I'm with the Mortgage Protection Center, and we received that letter that you sent in regarding mortgage protection on your River Valley Credit Union mortgage of $96,000. You sent that in recently. Do you recall sending that in? Okay. All right. Cool. Well, my job is to first verify the information that you gave us on the form. So I have your date of birth as July 7th, 1958. Is that correct? Okay. And your height and weight, you're 5'8", 182 pounds. Is that right? And I show here that you're a smoker. Is that cigars, cigarettes, pipe? Cigarettes. Okay, cool. Now, Pamela's information, I have her birth date is 10/16/1959. Is that right? Okay. And I have her height and weight is 5'4", 225. And she's a non-smoker. Is that right? Okay, cool. All right, good. Now, this the amount of the loan of $96,000. You plan on paying that off in 15 years or 30? Okay, 30 years. Okay, cool. Now, let's see if I got the address correct also. I have you at 8751 Alice Street, and that's in Franklin, Ohio, 45005. Is that right? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. Well, sounds good, Shelby. Well, my job is to get this information to you. So they have me coming out to your area Thursday and Friday coming up this week. And it looks like I have a slot open at 7 o'clock on Thursday night, or I have another slot open at 7:30. And then maybe one at Friday, it looks like here about 8 o'clock. Does that Thursday 7 o'clock fit your schedule for you and Pamela? 7:30? Okay, so I got you down here. I'm going to put you down here for 7:30 Thursday. And let me ask this question. I've got a lot of families out in your area that I need to take care of. Is it okay, Shelby, if I show up half hour early or half hour late? You have that kind of flexibility? Okay. Okay. Okay, cool. Well, I'll make sure at least I'll get there by 7:30, and if I show up early, that's okay, right? Okay. All right. Cool. Now, in terms of coming out to your house to 8751 Alice Street, when I turn onto Alice Street, is your house going to be on the right or left? Okay, right. Third house down. And what color is your home? Okay, white. Okay, great. Now the numbers, are they going to be on the curb, on the house, or on the mailbox? All three? All right. Well, I guess I hit the jackpot. Good. Well, fortunately, 7:30 is still daylight, so I'll be able to find that. Cool. Well, good. By the way, just so that this appointment goes by really fast, then I can get out of your hair. What kind of medications are you taking, Shelby, for any medical conditions? What kind of medications are you taking? Okay, taking atenolol. Okay, that's high blood pressure, is that correct? Okay. What else? Okay. Diabetes. Okay, what are you taking for that? Okay, metformin. How long you been diabetic? How old were you when you were diagnosed? 50, 52. And do you have any complications from the diabetes? Okay, great. All under control. Cool. So that's it. High blood pressure, diabetes. Okay, cholesterol. Okay, that's cool. Cholesterol meds, no problem there. High blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol. All right, cool. And then any surgeries? Have you had any major surgeries? Heart attack, stroke, cancer, um, anything like that? No surgeries. Okay, okay, that's cool. You said you had ACL surgery when you were in high school. Okay, no problem. Okay, we can. Okay. Now, tell me about Pamela. What medications? She taking any medications? She's also taking high blood pressure. Okay, cholesterol. All right. Nothing else? No surgeries for her? Okay, hysterectomy. And what year did she have the hysterectomy? How long ago was that? 10 years ago. And was that due to cancer or any kind of situation? Okay, no cancer. Okay, cool. All right, great, great. So high blood pressure, cholesterol, any other surgeries, anything else I need to know about? All right, cool. All right, well, sounds good, Shelby. I will make sure I bring all the necessary forms with me and so on. What time did I say again Thursday we're going to meet? Yeah, 7:30. Okay, great. Okay, if you can do me a favor, can you grab a piece of paper? All right. Okay, on that. Okay, got it? Okay, wait for a pen. Okay, cool. Write down my name. My name's Alex, A-L-E-X. And my last name is kind of a long name. Most of the letters are silent. Last name is Abuyuan. It's spelled, okay, A, B as in boy, okay, U, Y, U, A, N as in Nancy. N as in Nancy. Alex Abuyuan. And then write down Thursday, 7:30 p.m. Okay, and just stick that on your refrigerator so you remember that I'm coming out. Okay, cool. Do you see any reason, Shelby, why you and Pamela couldn't make that appointment? Okay, super. All right. Well, I'll be looking forward to meeting you guys, and have a great night. Okay, take care. Bye now. All right, so I'm an activity book. I did a dial, I did a contact, and I booked an appointment for Thursday at 7:30. So there you go. So now, what do I do now? Well, I call the rest of the leads. I don't like to stick it out. I put it in my calendar, but I don't put all the detail in there because I'm booking the next appointment. I'm calling the next lead, calling the next lead, calling the next lead, calling the next lead, booking that appointment. And it's as easy as that, okay? So now what's next in the process? Well, now I know that I got Shelby, who is, oh, I should probably, okay, so now I'm working with Shelby. Okay, so how do I prepare for this appointment? Okay, well, number one, I need to know whether or not, okay, so now I know that it's a mortgage protection lead, okay, because it's a $96,000 mortgage. Okay, so Shelby here. So the first thing I do is, can he fit into the mortgage protection product because of his age? So 2014 minus 1958. I mean, this is actually what I do. I kind of do it on paper. And so 14 minus 8, so that's 6. 10 minus 5. So Shelby's 56 years old. Okay, and then, yeah, because it's birthday. And then Pamela, 1959. And she's 55 years old. Actually, because it's before October, she's actually 54. So you got Shelby's 56 and she's 54. So the question is, will their age fit into the product I'm thinking about? And the product I'm thinking about is a mortgage protection term product with Columbian Financial Group. Okay, so how do I know they fit into the guidelines for height and weight? And gang, this is exactly what I do when I prepare for appointments. I look at their age first, and so I go back to my Handy Dandy product guide folder, and I have all the product guides all listed by company acronym. So I'm looking at CFG Safe Shield, which is the SIT, and I want to look on the underwriting guide for age. So I open up the Safe Shield underwriting guide, and I look at the base plan. So Safe Shield, the base plan, it's got 15, 20, and 30 years, and I believe they said 30 years. It's a level death benefit, issue ages. 30 years, 18 to 55. So looks like he can't do a 30-year for him, but because his birthday was in July 7th, and I could save the age. In other words, I could write him up as a 55-year-old by backdating the policy to a date before his birthday. So we can do that. So I could show him a 30-year term. So I'm going to say check off that one. And then she's 54, so I could show her a 30-year term. Now look, I could show him a 20-year term anyway. So that's not a big deal, but I could squeeze him under because his birth date was just passed, okay? And then the mortgage amount, look at the mortgage amount, and the mortgage amount was like $96,000, right? So I look at that, it's $96,000, and the issue amounts go from $25,000 to $50,000. So I know I've got the mortgage amounts covered for them. The next thing I want to know is, will their height and weight and their conditions cause them not to get into this product? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Safe Shield Unacceptable Risk guide, and then I'm going to read here, simplified term unacceptable risk. So let's first look at the height and weight tables. Okay, and so the height and weight, he's 5'8", 182. So the maximum weight is 279, so he can fit into the height and weight table. So let's look at Pamela. She's 5'4", 225. 5'4", 247. So she's 225, so she's well under the maximum weight. Okay, so now I know by height and weight they can fit into the product. So I got the age down, the height and weight. Next, I want to know, will his high blood pressure fit? Okay, so let's look on here for coronary. Most coronary problems they can't get into. Okay, so high blood pressure is going to be okay. Cholesterol, it's like cholesterol is going to be okay, which typically I know that'd be all right. The main one is diabetes. Let's look at diabetes. So we know it's type 2 because it's treated orally and it was diagnosed later in life. So the diabetes type 2, you can see ages 18 to 29, ages 30 to 39 with duration of 6 or more years is unacceptable. We don't fit there. Ages 40 to 49 with duration of 16 years. They don't fit theirs. He's 56, and he was diagnosed at 52, so that was only 4 years ago. So he's going to be okay. He's got no complications, as you can see here. And he doesn't have any coronary artery disease. And then it says smokers in combination with diabetes for ages 50 and under. Well, he's a smoker, but he's age 56. So it looks like he's going to be all right, okay, for the diabetes type 2. Now her situation, she's just on high blood pressure and cholesterol medication, and she had a hysterectomy. So I know she's going to be okay. Now another thing I could do is I could call the underwriters and get a feel for whether or not they can get covered. And I can call Colombian Underwriting. Okay, the main line is 5904. And what I would do is I would call the underwriters and let's call them now. Okay, hello? Underwriting risk assessment, please. Safe Shield. Okay, agent number. Hold on. Let me get that. Okay, it's 335664. Okay. Okay, great. Hi, my name's Alex, and okay. Okay, great. Okay, my client, his height and weight is, he's 56, he's 5'8", 182 pounds, he's a smoker, a cigarette smoker. He's taking high blood pressure medications, he's diabetes, he was diagnosed at age 52. He's on metformin, he's taking cholesterol medications, and there are no complications. Would we be able to cover him under Safe Shield, the term product? Yes, it's under control. No, I didn't get an A1C number for him, but apparently he seems to be fine with that. Okay. All right. All right, great. All right, just want to check with you. All right, thanks. Take care. Okay, bye. All right. So you can call an underwriter just to, make sure that you're going to be okay. So that's another way to do it. Another way to check underwriting is kind of a cool way to do it is we've got underwriting guides. And if you go to the underwriting grids here, the mortgage term grid, which is nauniversity.com mortgage test term grid, just go to that website and then you look to see diabetes. So you click on diabetes and then it shows you through the underwriting guide Safe Shield, decline if, and it says decline if, and it's all those things that we read under the unacceptable risk guide. Okay, so there's 2 diabetes. I guess Mutual of Omaha, Term Life Express, but we were concerned with Safe Shield. So this is again telling us what we already found out. But this is a good tool to use if you don't have the underwriting guides right at your fingertips. Okay, so this is another way. So you got basically 3 ways. You can look at the underwriting guide that is published by each carrier. You can go to the underwriting grids like I just showed you here, or you can call the underwriters and get a risk assessment. So any idea of like, I don't know what product to write. Okay, if it's a mortgage protection product, start first with a mortgage protection product, or mortgage protection lead, start with a mortgage protection product. Okay, so now that I know they can fit into Colombian Financial Safe Shield, so let me click out of here. The next thing I want to do is let's start calculating the rates for them. So I know that I've got my software. So let's pull up the software and let's start putting some rates together. Okay. Actually, I have all these on my desktop. Easy access, so I didn't even have to do that because it's already on my desktop. But here's the final expense, Safe Shield, simplified issue term. That's what SIT stands for. So I got final expense and Safe Shield. So I picked a state, which is Ohio. I'm going to do just no return to premium. I'm going to go 30 years. I'm going to pretend like I can save his age, so I'm going to write him at 55. He is a tobacco user. Okay, and it's $96,000 was the mortgage. Okay, and then I'm not going to put any riders on here, so I'm going to strip it down. Okay, so everything's stripped down. So for him, it's going to be expensive, as you can see, $230.14. So I'm going to at least write it down. 30 years, $96,230.14. Okay, which actually for diabetics, pretty doggone good, you know, for that amount of insurance. Okay, so what other options should I put together? Well, let's do something like 75% of that mortgage amount. So let's just say it's 96, almost 100,000. So let's just drop it down to 75,000. Do an option at 75,000 because maybe his wife works, and if she got 75,000 to refinance a house, right? Then we can, you know, get that taken care of. That's 180.94. Then let's do 50,000. So that's roughly 50%. Okay, so 50,000 now is 122.37. So now it's getting into the realm of possibility. And then the minimum, I always like to do the minimum, 25,000. Why? Because maybe that's all they can afford, but what 25,000 could do, like let's say he passes away and there's maybe 50,000 left on the mortgage. Well, 25,000, they could refinance the house and she probably could afford it. So there's a lot of ways to skin this cat. So I'd have 25,000 kind of in my back pocket. I wouldn't lay it out right away, but I'd have that ready. Okay, so I got him taken care of. Now she's 55, and since these are unisex rates, in other words, it's the same rate for a man as it is a woman, then those are the same exact rates for her as well. Okay, and so that's kind of what I would go in, showing them, you know, maybe the minimum 63.79, and then moving it on up. Okay. Another thing to do, maybe I'd have some rates, and I write all these rates on the back of the lead. Okay. So I'd turn the lead over and I put all these notes at the back of the lead. So you see these rates right there. I just jot them down. I'm not going to show them this, but I'm going to transfer these to my quote sheet. But I always want to have these in like crib notes. Okay. And then for her, you know, I have the same for her. And then, and so there you go. I'm ready to rock and roll. So I've got my lead. I've got my quotes. Okay. And I'm ready to go on the appointment. So I go to the appointment. I've got my lead with me. And then what I do is I take my handy dandy flip chart or NAA flip chart, and I go through the flip chart with them. So I tell them a little bit about me, okay? show my picture of my license and my family, the companies I represent, and this is called the ATM, the Agent Training Manual. And this is our little flip chart deal. What if? Talk about the what if scenario. What is mortgage protection? And what happens next? We're going to get information from them. Okay, so, and then we lay out the quotes. So option one, what I might do, and instead of maybe maxing it out, depending on sitting down with them, maybe I don't show them $230.14. I'll show them, you know, maybe the 25,000, 50,000, and 75,000. Okay, maybe that's what I'll do. And then I'll write them down on a separate piece of paper that looks like this. Okay, so when I get to this slide, I just write it down on a piece of paper, and then I let them circle the ones that's most comfortable in their budget. Okay, then we get the emergency response system referrals, give them a prescription discount card, get referrals for the prescription discount card, find out about annuities, find out about tax-free retirement, make sure we lock down the sale. Joe and Mary, do you feel good about taking care of your family for $120 a month today, whatever it is? Final questions. Do you know someone who might be interested in making an extra $500 a week? Okay, boom, done. Closed it. Okay, fill out an application. What's an application look like? Okay, well, let's take a look at what an application looks like, because I have those in my product file. NAA, product guide, CFG, SIT, application, Ohio. Okay, so this is an application for Ohio for Columbia Financial Group. And I just simply fill out name, social security number, sex, age, date of birth, home address, beneficiary, the policy information, 30-year term. They didn't choose a return of premium. I put whatever riders, we didn't choose any riders. Accelerated death benefits free, so I always check that. Amount of insurance, they chose the 50,000 option. All right. Okay, let's say they picked the 50,000 option, because they both make the same amount of money. And then the amount paid with application, it's 122.37 times 2, 122.30. Oh yeah, she's not a smoker. Golly, that's right. See, there you go. Okay, so it is not true that she pays the same rates, because she's a female non-smoker. There's no designation there, but okay. So I'll show you how being a non-smoker, and she's 50, 55, non-tobacco, 96,000. Okay, so for 30 years, instead of 230.14, it's 191.40. Now, look, a 55-year-old, 30 years from now, 85, chances are this is going to pay. So that's 199.10, 191.10. Okay, and then 75,000. Okay, that's 150.59, and etc. and so on. Okay, so I will have her rates written down. Okay, then we just fill out the application, health history. Okay. Okay, and then get their signatures. Get a copy of voided check. Okay, fill out the voided check pre-authorization EFT form, so it's drafted, etc., etc. Okay, easy peasy. All right. Okay, once I fill out the application, it's a done deal, and then I'm off to the races. I submit it, I turn it in to, I scan it. Okay, what I do is when I get back home after I've made the sale, I've got a voided check, is I'm going to scrub it, make sure everything's correct on the form, like it's all filled out, everything's on there, I've got all the signatures, and then I'll scan it and email it to Danielle, our admin person, and then she's going to scrub it and make sure it's correct, and then she's going to scan it and then send it off to the company, to Columbia Financial Group electronically, and boom, they start underwriting. And literally, we've gotten it approved the next day, and you get paid the next day, which is crazy, 2 to 3 days, and then you get the money back. So based on, let's say that the total premium was 100 and, let's say it's for hers to 22. So let's say it's like 100 and, I don't know, 150 bucks a year. So 150 bucks a year total premium between the two. And then this is the part where I calculate the commissions. Okay, so 150 times 12 is 1,800 premium times 55%. That's total commission of $990. And then you get 75% advance times 0.75. And your check 3 days later would be $742.50 for an hour's worth of work helping a client out. And then you get paid the rest of the amount up to $990 in months 10, 11, 12 when the client makes their months 10, 11, 12 payment. So that's pretty much it. Okay. Again, to review, getting on the website, nameleads.com website, downloading your leads, okay, and then opening up your leads and calling them on the phone, booking the appointment. It was pretty cool that I was able to get a hold of somebody now. I was perfectly ready to like shut this video off and then resume when I finally got a hold of somebody. Okay, got their medical information, and then that allowed me to figure out whether it was through the underwriting grids, or it was through the product guide. I went through the product guide, then went through the unacceptable risk guide, and boom, I knew really that they could fit into the product by age, okay, by height and weight, by condition, and even called an underwriter just to make sure. And then I took that information, calculated the rates, put it on the back of the form, back of the lead, so I can figure out when I sit down with them what I'm going to show them. All right, and then wrote it up, went through the ATM, the Agent Training Manual, and that's it. That's it, gang. That's as hard as it gets. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. And then we're going to teach you how to do all those basic skills so that you can get out there, start booking appointments, and then check them with us. Okay, so as you're getting started, you're not going to have to figure all that underwriting stuff out, because you're going to run it through us, and then we're going to guide you through how to do that. So don't feel like you have to exactly know how to do that to get started. We're going to help you through that. So when you call me and say, Alex, I got a 56-year-old diabetic, mortgage is $96,000. He's taking diabetic medication. He's taking high blood pressure medication, cholesterol meds. What should I do? And then I'll tell you. I'll ask some more questions, and then I'm going to say, Columbia Financial Group, do it for $96,000, $75,000, $50,000, $25,000. Exactly what I just showed you. I'm going to tell you to do that, and then I'm going to show you, basically how to know what you're going to show in terms of the options. And then that's it, man. Easy peasy. All right, gang, let's rock it. Let's do this thing. Take care.